Imagine a giant pie that represents all the wealth and goods created in the world. The US has a big slice of that pie, about 25%. That's because the US economy is the biggest and most powerful on the planet. It has a lot of different ingredients, like tech, finance, entertainment, and manufacturing, which all contribute to a meal that is served to the entire world. The US also uses a special fork, the US dollar, which is the most popular currency in the world. Many other countries want to trade with it too, as it is made with the most solid, unbreakable stainless steel imaginable. This cooperation with other countries benefits the US immensely. The fork helps share the pie worldwide, which contributes to the flowing blood life of not just their own economy, but the whole world's. By trading, they can sell their own abundant resources and produce, while importing goods they don't possess themselves. This creates a cycle of booming economic activity, which allows the body to grow larger. Despite its problems with inequality, debt, environment, and healthcare, it is by far the most advanced, innovative, and free economy the world has ever seen. But what made the US economy so big and powerful? It's a long and complicated history, so let's speedrun it. It all started with the Constitution, which set up a system of government that allowed for free trade, democracy, and a national currency. It also made slavery possible, and as evil as this practice was, it did help build and finance the country during its early stages. The Civil War ended slavery, but also helped start the Industrial Revolution, which was powered by inventions like steam engines, telegraphs, and electricity, which helped transition the economy from farming to manufacturing. Railroads connected the country from east to west, and new businesses such as steel, oil, and cars emerged. From here onwards, GDP growth exploded. Everything became so much cheaper. Products were created more efficiently, wages increased, and living standards rose. The US did have its fair share of crises, such as the Great Depression of 1929 and the two world wars, which also begun the race for nuclear weapons. However, they came out of the 1940s stronger than ever, with its industrial output overtaking the likes of the UK and Germany. They were now the leader of the free world, and with it, the main enemy of the communist Soviet Union. The Cold War was a time of ideological tension, but it also helped spring new innovations. For example, the space race birthed the rocket industry, and computing power increased exponentially. The US was the leader of this new technological revolution, which brought in the digital age and the information economy. The internet, software, social media all emerged, with AI looking to be the next huge revolution with the US at its very center. So, over the space of just 250 years, the US grew from a humble British colony to the world's superpower. Great, but what exactly does their economy look like now? As previously mentioned, their economy makes up a quarter of the world's GDP at around $27 trillion. To put it simply, this figure represents the total amount of goods and services produced in the year of 2023. Now let's divide this figure up. The US started with agriculture dominating output, but now it represents just 1% of GDP. In the 1800s, the Industrial Revolution saw manufacturing overtake as the leader, but now it is just 19%. The dominant sector is now services, accounting for a whopping 80% of output. In the modern world, this is the main way people make money. When dividing GDP by population, we get GDP per capita, which is the amount of output that each person contributes on average, which is currently $80,000. Although it has the largest overall GDP in the world, its per capita rank is just 7th, mainly due to very small, hyper-wealthy nations, such as Luxembourg and Qatar taking the top spots. But this is also a sign that the share of wealth in the US is unequal. Its Gini coefficient of 50 shows that it is one of the most unequal nations in the world. More specifically, the top 1% of people own 32% of the country's wealth, while the bottom 50% of people only own 2.6%, meaning the average wealth of someone in the top 1% is more than 1,000 times that of someone in the bottom 50. A clear reason for this is their absolutism in using free market capitalism. It is a system that rewards the people who produce the most value to the economy, whether it be their talent, work industry, or money itself, while minimizing the role of governments in helping the disadvantaged. This has been the main political argument for centuries. This is not the only challenge they face, though. It has a huge spending deficit, meaning the government's spending far outweighs the revenue it collects from taxes. This has ballooned its debt levels as borrowing became the only way to pay this difference, but now debt far outweighs its GDP, raising concerns that it could default on its debt, which would cause absolute mayhem. But despite this, the US economy is still far more stable than many of its contemporaries and is likely to continue to dominate for years to come. Thank you for watching.